expressly prohibits the demand or acceptance of a national ID, passport, warrant card, or other document establishing the identity or nationality of the holder as collateral for any money advanced to a borrower as a loan. Regulation 18 to be specific. Therefore, any money lender found in violation of these laws and regulations is in breach of the law, and if convicted is liable to suffer severe penalties, including the revocation or non-renewal of their operating licenses, payment of fines, and imprisonment. Upgrade of the national ID by introducing digital IDs. NIRA plans to eventually upgrade the national ID by rolling out digital electronic identity cards. One of the advantages of this is that it will combat the troubling practice of confiscated national identity cards as collateral for loans by money lenders. The introduction of eIDs will reduce dependency on physical cards for identification. With digital verification, citizens will be able to authenticate their identity using electronic means such as mobile apps or online platforms. This planned shift reduces the risk of physical IDs being used as collateral, since digital identity verification does not require the physical handover of the card. Money lenders will no longer be able to hold a physical national identity card as security, because the verification process will remain under the control of the card holder and the authorized institution. This initiative is not only about adopting new technology, but also will protect our citizens from predatory practices that have plagued our society far too long. Government is cognizant of the fact that the majority of its citizens do not yet have access to internet and smartphones to enable the immediate implementation of a universal digital ID system. However, when this happens, it will be the ideal solution to decisively deal with this challenge. Public awareness campaigns. The government is undertaking nationwide public awareness campaigns to educate citizens about their rights and the dangers of surrendering their national identity cards as collateral. Government agencies such as NIRA, the Uganda Police Force, and the Uganda Microfinance Regulatory Authority have undertaken civil media engagements to create awareness in the public about illegal acts of misuse of identity cards as collateral. This awareness is intended to empower citizens with knowledge about their rights over their national identity cards, thus reducing exploitation. Strengthening oversight and enforcement. The government has stepped up enforcement of the law by arresting and prosecuting persons involved in this illegal practice. For example, in Lira City, it was reported by the police in the North Choga region that operations were conducted on the 5th of August 2024 within Lira City, targeting money lending companies, and 149 national identity cards were recovered. The law enforcement agencies prosecute such cases where lenders are found to be engaging in such blatant abuse of confiscation of national identity cards. Citizens are therefore encouraged to report to the nearest police station or NIRA office any person or entity illegally holding their national identity card for further action. The challenge, however, remains that the card holders do not report and are also in a way complicit in this malpractice for want of anything to stake as collateral for borrowing. So through all levels of leadership, we need to provide leadership and guidance to the population. Engagement with stakeholders. The government will continue to engage with key stakeholders, including financial institutions, political leaders, civil society, and community leaders, to ensure a collaborative approach to ending this practice. This will include dialogues, consultations, and other engagements aimed at identifying and addressing the root causes of this issue. In conclusion, Right Honorable Speaker and members, the confiscation of national identity cards as security for loans is a deplorable practice that must be stopped immediately. The government of Uganda is fully committed to protecting the rights and dignity of our citizens by ensuring that their national identity cards retain their integrity and remain in their possession and are used only for their intended purpose. To achieve this end state, the citizens themselves must cooperate by avoiding this illegal practice as much as possible, or in the unlikely event that it happens, report to authorities to to retrieve the confiscated cards. I beg to submit, Right Honourable Speaker and Honourable Members.
Thank you so much, Honourable Minister. First, before we go to anything, before we say anything on that, we had asked the Minister of Finance to bring regulations to curb the interest rates of money lenders. How far did you go? Because that's the most important thing. We want regulations.
Thank you very much, Right Honourable Speaker. The Attorney General is still working on them. And I undertake to follow up within 4 weeks. Within 4 weeks, we shall bring the draft.
You want to bring us the draft?
We shall bring the regulations here.
We need the regulations. We need the regulations. The issue of money lenders is a very serious issue.
Yes, it is.
Honorable members, we have a law without regulations. So we cannot implement what we agreed on the law without regulation.
Madam Speaker, I agree with you that the ministers will bring the regulations. The issue of exploitation and extortion does not only stop with the exorbitant interest rates, but also the conditions of payment. I was with my women in my rural village. The women in my constituency, in that case, as a leader, I refer to them as my women because I lead them. But I don't mean that they are my wives. There's difference between, so you shall get that.
If Honorable Z is married.
Madam Speaker, many of those complain to me, those ones in their saving groups and the rest, they engage in businesses, but some of these money lenders have gone to those rural areas. They give money, but the condition of payment is that you pay every day. You pay every day to them. So the extortion is real, because I was telling them, if you pay money every day to these money lenders, how do you get money for yourself? This is typical exploitation. So we really need this. We need the regulations here, so that we assess and see.
That makes us advise our women to concentrate on PDM.
Yes, that's what I was telling them.
PDM, Emioga.
Two, Madam Speaker, I was also engaging with the civil servants. The same issue has also extended to the civil servants. You find that those days, for a civil servant to access loan, this must be authorized by the cow. And the cow determines how much you can get as a loan. But this time, a civil servant, so long as has the national ID, the financial card, and supply number, can just walk to these banks and get loans. And the coding of these loans are done by private companies, not the cow. So this has led to over deduction of their monies. In some cases, many of these civil servants have their names deleted. Because once you get loan and the deductions go below 50% of your salary, then your name disappears. And this has caused many civil servants to abandon job. So it is one of the serious issues. We needed explanation from government. How can a private company come up with coding of loans? And why do you leave out the cow who is supposed to supervise his civil servants? He has nothing to do with approval of loans. So I think
you know, the private company, once you have a CRB, that private company will be able to know how much money you have, and they will be able to give you. But it all goes to financial discipline. financial discipline.
So, Madam Speaker, as the government comes, we needed that explanation so that we will help our people. Thank you, Madam
Let's
Speaker.
get the regulations. Honorable members, the members of the East African Assembly that are up there watching and attending to our proceedings. One, we have members from Burundi. We have Honorable Victor. Honorable Victor, I may not be able to mention the other name. Then we have Honorable Nkurusiza. We have Honorable Nkurusiza. We have Honorable Kibea Saidi. Then members from Kenya. We have Honorable Imam Falada. Welcome. Honorable Kalonzo, most welcome. Honorable Kering, you're most welcome. Honorable Shabal Saidi, you're most welcome. Members from Rwanda, we have Honorable Fatuma. Honorable Fatuma. We have Honorable Matthias, most welcome. We have Honorable Rutazana. Rutazana, you're most welcome. Then we have members from South Sudan. Honorable Dr. Ann Ito. Dr. Ann Ito. We have Dr. Saida. Honorable Saida James. Welcome. Honorable Kim Jia. Welcome. Honorable Luke Thomas. Welcome. Honorable Gideon. Welcome. Then we have members from Uganda. We have Honorable Mary Mugenyi. Most welcome. We have Honorable James Kakoza. We have Honorable George Stephen Odongo. We have Honorable Veronica Kadogo. We have Honorable Gerald Siranda. You're most welcome. Thank you so much for coming to attend to our proceedings. You want to debate on that statement? You are the same money lenders who are mistreating people.
Something important.
I have asked for regulations.
Yes, something important.
Uh-uh.
Right, something important. Some additional information.
I have asked for regulations, and you want in 1 month's time, we need the regulations here. Yes.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, for accepting me, and I want to thank the Minister, the General. But you see, Madam Speaker, when there is a vice in the country, the Minister has made his statement, but the best solution to this problem now is issuing an instrument, stopping that practice. And any money lender doing so, his license should be revoked. We agree with whatever you have given, but now what you are stating is in the future. So why don't you issue an instrument stopping that? Thank you, Madam.
Right, Honorable.
Yes.
There's no need for an instrument. It's already an illegality to use IDs as
Whatever
collateral.
is being done is an
It is illegal.
illegality. And secondly, an ID can never work as a collateral. It can never work as a collateral security. Not even an ATM. Not even an ATM. Yes.
Right, Honorable. There is another challenge with IDs. There are thousands of national IDs with police, those which are lost, thousands all over the country. And people are paying money to acquire new IDs. I would propose that the police, the internal affairs, you advertise the IDs. Someone should Wait, why don't you allow information, please? Someone should pay for the money of the advert instead of paying 200,000 to go and get a new one. Advertise them, they are all over every police station. And lastly, Right Honorable Speaker, on the IDs, there are people who don't have fingerprints. We should have an alternative to fingerprints. Iris recognition is now used worldwide as part of the biometrics for identification. So in the new IDs, please include the iris recognition so that those who don't have fingerprints can get an alternative. I submit, Right Honorable.
Thank you. Honorable members, we have said what we need are regulations. Whatever is being done is an illegality, and we cannot continue discussing about an illegality. This is something that is not supposed to be done. Next item.
Item 3.2, statement by Minister on the National Population and Housing Census 2024.
Honorable Minister.
Thank you so much, Right Honorable Speaker. My presentation is not about the entire census. It is responding to the issues that we raised on the floor recently. Yeah, we shall be coming to present that one.
Honorable Minister. Honorable Minister. Most of the people had issues on census. The Bagisu had issues on the census. The Langi, everybody had issues on census. And then there was also the one of Honorable Daisy. So I don't know how you're going to handle this. Maybe we could have a report, the census report. Yes. Let's have a census report such that we are able to refer. Jonah, do you have something, Jonah?
No, but Madam Speaker, the issue that was raised. Thank you, Madam Speaker. When you look at the instrument that allows the census to take place, there are about 36 parameters that when you are conducting census, it's in the first schedule, you must interrogate. And what we have in the public domain is that the census was conducted in a shabby manner. The data, the allegations that they were manipulated, others were cooked. The public is outraged that many households were never even approached by the enumerators. And even the provisional report that was released has since been recalled. So we actually don't have any foundation to entertain such a statement. In the premises, without even any foundational document for us to refer to, it is difficult to appreciate such a statement, because what the country expects is a report on the census, not a statement brought by the minister, and we are not even sure where the minister is coming from. So I propose that the minister be allowed to go back. We already gave them more than 380 billion, and that 380 billion, they should do their work, and once they are
procedure.
Madam Speaker, I didn't want to interrupt the Shadow Minister for Justice and Constitutional Affairs. But when the Honorable Matia Kasaija made the undertaking, he made the undertaking in the premise that there were many issues that needed to be answered. And as a result, he said, can I come with a statement about everything? That's how I understood it. The procedural issue I am raising, Madam Speaker, is whether even before receiving a statement to know what is in that statement, we can now in anticipation rule it unsatisfactory. Yet the undertaking was that
the minister will come here to answer all issues of the census. That's what the Honorable Matia Kasaija, the Honorable State Minister, I think is just carrying a document he has been given. But his boss was here and he said his statement will be a statement about all the issues.
He made a disclaimer and said it was partial. And based on that, first of all, we need to know what is the source of this document. Because we must be having a report where he extracted the figures that is reporting from. So, Honorable Minister, we would need a report of the census, and then you can come and give us a report. A report where you will be able to quote that the source is from the census report. I mean the census report, yes. So you will go back and bring that report, and we will still give you. How much time do you need? And no, in the meantime, Ugandans should know what they know.
Right, Honourable Speaker, actually this submission relates to what transpired when Honourable Kasaija was here. And he asked me to come here because he's out of the country. You gave him a deadline to report on particular issues that were raised then, including the matter raised by Honourable Ndezi and the matter relating to the tribes, data relating to the tribes. So those are some of the issues that I was
responding to. How much time do you need to bring the report?
Permit me to inform the House that in December we shall be wait a minute. In December, we are coming up with a final report on the national census for 2024. The final report.
Honorable members,
this report we had was a provisional report. So the final report is coming out in December. Now, Right Honourable Speaker, you have indicated that I must have a report to quote.
Honourable members, December is not far. It will also pass. Let's get something that is concrete, that is authenticated. You get it, eh? So we cannot take this because it is partial. Mzee Kasaija said he was coming with a concrete what? Information. So let's go to the next item.
Item 3.3, statement by Minister on the new O-level and A-level curriculum and emerging issues.
Honorable Minister of Education, Dr. Kaduchu.
Thank you so much, Right Honorable Speaker. I stand to present a statement to this floor on the new O-level and A-level curricula and emerging issues that were raised on this floor. Right Honorable Speaker and Honorable Members of Parliament, on 16th October this year, Parliament directed, under the leadership of the Right Honorable Speaker, that the Minister of Education and Sports provide an update on the progress of the lower secondary and advanced level curricula. Members, as you may be aware, the first cohort of learners is currently sitting their end of Senior 4 examinations and expected to progress to Senior 4 in 2025. This curriculum is competence-based and learner-centered, emphasizing generic skills, values, and a positive attitude towards life and work. In addition, the methodologies used emphasize participatory learning approaches and application of what has been learned. The assessment focuses on learning and considered an individual learner instead of the one-size-fits-all approach. Right Honourable Speaker, where we are to date, the Ministry of Education and Sports rolled out the lower new secondary curriculum in February 2020. Since then, several interventions to make it successful has been made as outlined below. Number one, we have conducted training for teachers through our agencies and departments. The NCDC developed a teacher training strategy to help the teachers to interpret and understand the lower secondary curriculum. A total of 1,600 master trainers and 81,048 teachers of Senior 1 to Senior 4 were trained on the new lower secondary curriculum across the country. In addition, Right Honourable Speaker, individual schools have been using the master trainers to train those who never had a direct interaction with the curriculum designs, using the cascade model. It should be noted that the target number of teachers to be trained was 198,720 from both government and private schools. Those trained represent 41% of the planned targeted number. The center trained 9,126 head teachers, DEOs, district inspectors of schools, and Ministry of Education officials on the new lower secondary curriculum. Number two, the Uganda National Examinations Board, referred to as UNEB, has also trained 15 teachers from each school on assessment. The assessment constitutes a classroom-based assessment and project with an emphasis on generic and practical skills. Schools have been trained on how to capture students' scores from the school-based assessment on the system, which will contribute 20% of the total learner's score at the end of the cycle. Number three, the Directorate of Education Standards have provided teachers support in approximately 500 secondary schools in the country. The Ministry of Education is making efforts to adapt online methods of instructing teachers in the wake of financial constraints to conduct face-to-face training. The Ministry of Education and Sports, through NCDC, trained publishers on how to write interactive textbooks to the curriculum. The developed textbooks and teachers' guides were distributed to all secondary schools across the country from Senior 1 to Senior 4. Number five, the curriculum requires engaging learners in core curricular activities to develop their practical skills and talents, which includes swimming. It is worth noting that not all concepts in the curriculum are taught in the classroom setting. Project-based learning can be taught outside the classroom, and a learner is free to select a subject from the many available options across the subjects. He or she is expected to be innovative and creative in doing the project by using local available resources within the community and in particularly the environment. The Ministry of Education and Sports will continue guiding our teachers on how to guide learners in using locally available materials during project work. The implementation of the lower secondary curriculum has faced quite a number of challenges, Madam Speaker, including the skill gaps among teachers in implementation of the competence-based curriculum, because they were used to traditional methods of teaching and they had to transit to the competence-based approaches. The limited instructional materials and the limited sensitization among key stakeholders like our parents, among others. Madam Speaker, to mitigate the challenges of implementation, the Ministry of Education through NCDC is in the process of developing sample scheme of work and sample lesson plans to guide teachers in the preparation of instructions at the lower secondary level. The Ministry of Education and Sports further plans to continuously develop the skills of teachers through teacher support and online training. Through the training, the teachers will be equipped with skills in developing low-cost non-textbooks materials to support them in effectively managing the teaching-learning process. Madam Speaker, the progress on the development of the A-level curriculum. The Ministry of Education and Sports, honorable members, through the National Curriculum Development Center, embarked on the review of the A-level competence-based curriculum in 2021. The progress is still ongoing, and as we prepare for this first cohort that is expected to progress to Senior 5 in 2025. The Ministry of Education and Sports, Right Honourable Speaker, has made arrangements to mitigate the gaps in the A-level curriculum by aligning it to the lower secondary curriculum, which is competence-based. This current cohort, which are sitting Senior 4 exams, will be oriented towards the competence-based curriculum on joining Senior 5. Right Honourable Speaker, in addition to the issues raised on the revised curriculum for A-level, I want to comment on other issues that have been raised. That includes 1, urgent harmonization of the pay of science teachers and school administrators. On that issue, Right Honourable Speaker, Government of Uganda has agreed to provide a top-up allowance to school head teachers to address the matter of harmonization of salaries with the science teachers. This especially the science-based head teachers and science deputy head teachers. The matter has been logically concluded. Number 2, the need for staff quarters in all schools, especially those in hard-to-reach areas. The Ministry of Education and Sports, Right Honourable Speaker, acknowledges the need to have staff quarters in all our schools across the country. We believe this will solve the challenges of staff retention, especially in hard-to-reach, hard-to-work areas. Unfortunately, this is not budget neutral, as it will require significant resources beyond the ceiling of the Ministry of Education and Sports, which is available to the ministry. Nevertheless, the matter is being addressed in a phased manner within the available resources to the local governments. There is an approved budget of Ugandan shillings 41.46 billion across the local government votes to address some of the infrastructural gaps in schools, including the staff houses where need be. In addition, Right Honourable Speaker, all seed schools that is being constructed in a phased manner have provision for staff houses included as part of the scope for the construction. Issue number 3, the need to recruit enough teachers and reduce the teacher-student ratio. Right Honourable Speaker, this financial year 2024-2025, the ministry secured 111 billion, and this will go towards recruitment of at least 4,402 staff. This will be deployed in the 111 seed schools in phase 2 and phase 3, which is the 27 schools, under the U-Gift program. Each school is projected to receive 31 teaching and non-teaching staff. We also secured 11 billion that has been provided for recruitment of teachers in primary schools, a total of 1,589 teachers. This will be across local government with staffing challenges. Number 4, on students being denied access to national examination because of unpaid fees. Madam Speaker, I want to thank you so much for raising really and advocating on that matter personally, you. Thank you. And the Ministry of Education, together with the UNEB, has been working with the schools to ensure that this does not happen. The Permanent Secretary has written a circular to all school head teachers to ensure that all candidates sit examination without interruption or sending them home because of unpaid school balances.
You have the circular?
Yes.
Lay it on table.
I tabled the circular. Thank you. They should put agreeable measures in place between parents and school administration to ensure school fees balance are paid accordingly without interrupting examination process. I also want to thank FAWE and other partners that have really supported last week, girls especially, those who have been sent away, and they address the issue of school fees balance. Number 5. Number 5, teachers in private schools operating without contracts. Right Honorable Speaker, the Ministry of Education and Sports have drafted guidelines for staff employment in private schools and institutions in Uganda. These guidelines emphasize the need to sign contracts for employees as provided for in Section 59 of the Employment Act of 2006. The Act states that employees must be served with a contract that states the full names and the address of the parties of the contract, the title of the job, the place of work, the wages to be paid, including deductions, as well as leave periods. The guideline for staff employment in private schools and institutions in schools are not enforceable because they are not yet gazetted. The process for gazetting is underway. In the budget, this coming budget for financial year 2023-2024, we will probably make sure the process is gazetted. As I conclude, there is a question, what is FAWE? FAWE stands for Forum for African Women Educationists, including Madam Speaker, who is really one of our key educationists in this country. So I thank you so much for supporting the education sector, and I beg to submit. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. There is a procedure. Shadow.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, and I want to thank the Minister. Thank you for attempting, but for giving this report. But the procedure matter I'm raising, Madam Speaker, is that wouldn't be procedure okay if you grant me permission as a shadow minister. I want to respond with evidence attached with each and everything the minister has stated. For example, let me say something here, Madam Speaker. Just one small thing from what she has said, that they have trained the 15 teachers from every secondary school, whereas there are secondary schools in Uganda who have less than 10 teachers. So where do you get 15 secondary school teachers to be trained when the school has less than 10 secondary school teachers? So if Madam Speaker of the Intelligence, you accept, even if you say tomorrow or next Tuesday, I am ready to present, because I'm going to lend the minister my phone to see the messages I'm receiving from head teachers right now, from your own statement, because they are following. And whatever you are saying is a challenge. Our battle here is to see how we streamline education. But we are on a time bomb. So, Madam Speaker, if you accept me, I'm ready to prepare, and I respond. Members, I'm on a procedure, and trained as a member of parliament. I don't want to give information on procedural matters. So, I would pray the minister, with her trials, with her prayers for you, you are in trouble, but don't worry. We can solve this problem together. And I'm a member of the Committee of Education, and the shadow minister, and above all, a minister. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you.
Madam Speaker, permit me to lay on table to you the correspondence.
Honorable members, Honorable Minister, the procedural issue that Honorable Seungu is raising is on policy matters. And I think a number of members raised issues that day. Number of members raised the issues, and that's why the minister responded. So what you could actually do on issues that you have, put it as an oral question, I mean a written question to the Prime Minister.
Most obliged, Madam Speaker, but you see, as a shadow minister, if you accept, Madam Speaker, because
can the leader of opposition ask?
Yes, but can
the leader of opposition ask to bring a written response to that? Then we debate both reports.
Madam Speaker, I think you've guided well. Let my colleague, our Minister for Education in the alternative, prepare a robust response, because I see colleagues from both sides have got issues of concern they would like to raise. So it would be good that we debate both reports exhaustively.
Honorable Minister, let the leader of opposition bring a response to your submission. Then we debate both of them. We are not saying the new curriculum is bad, but we are saying it's a very good curriculum. It meets with the changing environment. But we need some things fixed. So let's get their report, and then we debate it next week.
Madam Speaker, I very much accept that guidance. Thank you.
Thank you. Honorable members, leader of, I've given the leader of opposition 2 days. Honorable members, in the public, in the VIP gallery this morning, we have members of Parliament of the East African Legislative Assembly who are here specifically to watch us pass the bills, and they are not going until we finish passing bills. We have Honorable David Ole. Honorable David Ole is a very good friend of mine from Kenya. Karibu sana. We have Honorable Deng. Honorable Deng, and then Honorable Jacqueline among it. You're most welcome. Thank you so much for coming. Yes?
Madam Speaker, I want to thank you. Last week you gave a directive here that all students with uncleared balances in schools must not be chased out of school. It was a very good directive. Secondly, I have heard the minister in her report say that the directive is being implemented. However, Madam Speaker, I have a situation similar to that in Soroti, in Chambogo University, Soroti Study Center. The university has held results of over 500 students in the university because the lecturers have not been paid. I want to know from the minister, what and why have the lecturers not been paid? And given such a directive, Madam Speaker, would it not be procedurally correct that you direct the Minister of Education to bring here a statement why the results of the students have been held up to now.
Honorable members, my directive was all students must sit exams. Okay? They must sit exams. You should not chase any student because he has not finished payment. However, when you sit exams, it is also right that you pay. It is right that you pay the money for you to get your transcript.
Madam Speaker, this situation is different. Here, the lecturers have not been paid. It is the lecturers that have held the results. And this is Chambogo University, a government institution.
If the students paid and the lecturers are not paid and they are not releasing results, that is very wrong.
Right Honorable Speaker.
Let Kiambogo sort out his issues.
Madam Speaker, we raised this issue on this floor. I think it is, if I can recall, 2 to 3 weeks back. It was raised by my sister, Honorable Agnes, the Member of Parliament for the Workers. It involved non-payment of part-time staff, which accumulated to an area of over 6 billion. And as a result of non-payment, some of the part-time lecturers withheld the results of the student. This matter is being handled. After we presented
and for how long?
I think from the time that we presented and we debated on it, I went back to the ministry, and the ministry sat down together with the Vice Chancellor and Ministry of Finance and the other relevant authority. We had a meeting and we are trying to handle it.
Honorable members, Honorable Minister, I was actually given a list yesterday, and I didn't take it so serious like it is. Now, if the teachers are withholding, I mean the teachers are, lecturers are withholding students' results, students who have even paid, that is a breach, total breach. And he has the list. Please lay on table.
Madam Speaker, with your guidance, allow me to lay here on table a list of students whose results have been held by the management of Chambogo University Sorority Study Center. I lay on table.
How many? 600.
Madam Speaker, the list that I have here is 118, but the total number is 600.
Honorable Minister, please, that is a very serious matter. No, that one you will speak. For us, we want results.
Right Honorable Speaker, I want to undertake the responsibility of getting this to the root cause of this thing, solving it and bringing a feedback on this floor that the Minister of Education
Can we have a response
handled.
tomorrow on what you have done as education?
Much
Next item.
obliged, Madam Speaker. We will bring a statement on
tomorrow.
that subject matter.
Tomorrow.
Yes, thank you.
Because these people are not able to get jobs because their results are withheld. They may not even be able to graduate. Somebody has paid school fees from P1 up to university, and the results are withheld. Next item.
Item 5 on the order paper.
You will discuss when she brings the document tomorrow. Next item.
Item 5 on the order paper. Bill second reading. The National Forestry and Tree Planting Amendment Bill 2024.
Honorable members, as part of the government effort towards rationalization of public entities and Expenditure, the National Forestry and Tree Planting Amendment Bill 2024 was tabled on 24th September 2024. The committee is ready with its report. However, to begin with, I will request the Minister of Water and Environment to move a motion for the second reading of the bill. Honorable Minister.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker, for the opportunity. I beg to move that the bill entitled the National Forest and Tree Planting Amendment Bill 2024 be read for the first time.
Seconded.
For the second time. For the second time.
For the second time.
Beg to move.
Seconded. Seconded by Government Chief Whip, by elders, by local government, by Chair Agriculture, Rose, Alanyo, Nekesa, Katenga, Aru, Noah, workers, Chut, and their pair, Dr. Baiga, and the whole side on the right. Opendi with a broken hand. Opendi, what happened? Domestic violence. Where is Honorable Atkins? Yes, Honorable Alanyo, Honorable Nekesa, Honorable Asumani, Honorable Aisha Hajat. Yes, would you justify?
Right Honorable Speaker and honorable members, the policy behind the bill is to give effect to government policy of rationalization of its agencies. The intention of the bill, Right Honorable Speaker, is to amend the National Forest and Tree Planting Act 2003, and this will enable us to mainstream and rationalize the functions of the National Forest Authority into the Ministry.
Honorable members, you know, out of the whole group, this man has brought me 10,000 shillings. Bring. Yes, because of Guzuli. The problem, people never say thank you, but at least only one person has said thank you.
Right Honorable Speaker and honorable members, the bill, this will facilitate efficiency and effective service delivery by clearly delineating the mandate and the functions of the ministry responsible for this. 3, it will help promote coordination.
There is a procedure matter.
Madam Speaker, I am an identity leader of the Hansard of Parliament. During the presentation by Mama Mavira, you have said someone has brought you 10,000 over Oguzuli. I am sympathetic to those who will be reading the Hansard.
Withdrawn. That is withdrawn.
Who came here dressed like a cultural leader. So I wanted to be guided how that is related to the Mabira motion, Madam Speaker.
No, because these issues are different.
Madam Speaker, thank you. Why I dress like this is very symbolic. This is about economic liberation. You know, the people of Southern Africa, when they were resisting apartheid, they used to put on this kind of artifacts. Our coffee, which is the backbone of this economy, is being threatened by a bill which is on the order paper. And I've come to symbolize to the country that we are here to defend the economy of this country. Thank you.
Right Honorable Speaker, if I got Honorable Semju very well, he was only suggesting that the other word of 10,000 from Honorable Asuman should be expunged. Just
yes, that's what I expunged. I said that should be expunged. How is
Right Honorable Speaker and Honorable Members of Parliament, I was advancing to indicate the justification that the bill, this will promote coordinated administrative arrangements, policies, and procedures for ensuring the efficient and successful management, financial, accounting, and budgetary discipline of the government agencies and departments, enabling the government to play its proper role more effectively. Colleagues, as you may be aware, the government had established that some agencies were created without much consideration, and hence there were duplication of functions and overlap. It is now against this background that the government decided to rationalize government agencies and expenditures, including the mainstreaming of National Forest Authority back to the ministry. Among the benefits of mainstreaming National Forest Authority into the Ministry of Water and Environment, the mainstreaming of NFA in the ministry will improve coordination, monitoring, supervision, and service delivery by the various actors to the sector, including the management of the central forest reserves. It will enable government to save about 3 billion from emoluments paid to the members, the executive director, and the directors, and the support staff, and procurement, audit, and so on. Leave alone to say that it also will help government address the issue of disparity in the salary structures, which had demoralized other staff from the ministry. The role of NFA is to manage the central forest reserves, while the ministry role was to manage the forestry on private land, including supporting districts to manage local forest reserves. Mainstreaming all the roles under the ministry will enable proper management, supervision of all the forests in the country, bringing all the experience together under the unified management. The annual gratuity paid to National Forest Authority staff, amounting to 6 billion, will be saved annually, honorable members. duplication of support services for management and development of forest resources, such as the extension services, licensing, the law enforcement, among others, will now be eliminated. The legal provision commits National Forest Authority staff directly to report to the minister, who is not technical. Mainstreaming will enable effective supervision, reporting on management of the 506 Central Forest Reserves to the Permanent Secretary in the Ministry. Right Honorable Speaker and Honorable Members of Parliament, I beg to submit that indeed it is time we mainstream this agency for better service delivery. And I look forward for your support. I thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Honorable Chair.
Right Honorable Speaker.
Chair, you're supposed to be here.
Right Honorable Speaker, permit me to lay on table the minutes of the meeting and a copy of the committee report, and also a copy of the executive summary.
Thank you.
That the committee generated while processing this bill. Right Honorable Speaker and honorable colleagues, the committee has scrutinized the National Forestry and Tree Planting Amendment Bill 2024, whose objectives is to amend the National Forestry and Tree Planting Act and mainstream the functions of the National Forest Authority established under the Act into the ministry responsible for environment. The committee has noted that there is overlapping mandate of forestry matters, given that the ministry has a department under the Directorate of Environmental Affairs charged with managing and overseeing the forest sector development in Uganda, including both the central and local forest reserves, which mandate is similar to that of the NFA. The proliferation of the institutions with similar mandates has increased public expenditure and not necessarily led to improved service delivery. The committee has recommended that the National Forestry and Tree Planting Act be amended to mainstream the functions of the National Forest Authority into the ministry responsible for the environment to avoid the duplication of mandates and unnecessary expenditure. The committee has noted that mainstreaming NFA into the ministry will reduce on government expenditure by Ugandan shillings 22.1 billion in the financial year 2024-25 and Ugandan shillings 26.4 billion in the financial year 2025-26. The committee has further noted that the Ministry for Water and Environment has the requisite structure to assume the functions currently executed by the NFA and also express the willingness to absorb over 80% of the current staff of the NFA. The terminal benefits of the staff have also been provided for in the Certificate of Financial Implication. The committee has also noted that the ministry will continue to generate non-tax revenue and NFA concurrently generates, given that the ministry also generates NTR, non-tax revenue, from the various sources, including abstraction permits under the Water Resources Management. Therefore, mainstreaming the NFA into the Ministry of Water and Environment will address the challenges of overlapping mandates, reduce the government expenditure, and therefore improve service delivery. The ministry will also be able to generate the non-tax revenue currently generated by the National Forest Authority, given that it generates, given what the authority generates now. So the ministry will be able to generate its own under the same arrangement. Right Honorable Right Honorable Speaker, that is the executive summary I would like to present. The Ministry of Public Service gave us the organogram of the structure of NFA that will be under the ministry, and it is included in the report as Annex A, which I believe members will be able to see. Right Honorable Speaker, I beg to submit.
Thank you. Thank you. Honorable members, you've heard from the members. Yes, we have a minority report.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. I thank my colleague, but these are some of the points that descend from the main report. Honorable Speaker, we are aware that the National Forestry and Tree Planting Bill of 2024 was read for the first time on 9th April. And we are aware that the policy behind the bill is to give effect to a government policy for rationalization of government agencies and public expenditure, which the Cabinet adopted on 22nd February. And the committee processed the report. However, pursuant to Rule 205 of the Rules of Procedure of Parliament of Uganda, this minority report is premised on the dissenting opinions from the majority of the committee. And these are the areas of dissent. No economic gains in the short and medium term as envisaged by the bill to maintain the authority. Right Honorable Speaker, we begin with Table 1, which shows the financial implications, the figures depicted in the financial implications for the bill in the medium term. And based on what they show, that the net savings for financial year 2024-2025 will be 22.1, and financial year 2025-2026 will be 26.4. Right Honorable Speaker, the above table is extracted from the Certificate of Financial Implication of the bill. The anticipated savings of 22.1 billion in 2024-2025 is not possible, given the fact that government has already implemented activities in Q1 with an allocation of Uganda shillings 3.777 billion and Uganda shillings 8.034 billion in Q2 of financial year 2024-2025. So they overestimated. The money is already eaten. The budget appropriated to NFA is for sustainable management of central forest reserves as per their approved work plan and budgets. Therefore, the proposal by the bill of relieving the government of the wasteful administration and expenditure of maintaining the authority is impossible in the short and medium term, and concentration would rather be on strengthening National Forest Authority as a revenue-generating entity that contributes significant non-tax revenue to the Treasury and is increasing its capacity to generate revenue to finance its operations. Right Honorable Speaker, they have indicated that 80% of the staff shall be taken to the ministry. So we wonder, what will they earn when they're in the ministry if they indicate that the money will have been saved? Then on the issue of institutional harmony, functional duplications and overlap. Honorable Speaker, the National Forest Authority is mandated to manage 506 central forest reserves, covering an area of 1.265 million hectares, which accounts for about 26% of the total forest cover in Uganda. not as it is alleged that wherever you see any forest, then it is in NFA responsible. NFA is only responsible for 26%. The protected areas system for habitat and biodiversity conservation in Uganda is managed under different legal mandates: the National Forestry and Tree Planting Act and Uganda Wildlife Act. In recognition of the importance of protected areas to the people of Uganda and the global community, the government, through statutory instruments number 63 of 1998, gazetted protected areas comprising 506 central forest reserves, also local forest reserves, 10 national parks, 12 wildlife reserves, and 12 Ramsar sites. So we are wondering, are the forests under national parks, local forest reserves also going to be taken back to the ministry? So in view of the above submissions, there is institutional harmony and therefore no functional duplications and overlaps, because the different forest reserves were given to the different entities. And when you take National Forest Authority alone, then it is not equitable. Alleged high cost of administering the authority at the expense of effective service delivery. Right Honourable Speaker, NFA has significantly boosted its financial performance, achieving 83% increase in non-tax revenue over the years. Over the past 4 years, the authority increased from Uganda shillings 9.27 billion in 2021 to Uganda shillings 16.983 billion in 2023-2024. The approved government of Uganda budget of 24.983 billion with a projected non-tax revenue of Uganda shillings 20.332 billion during the financial year of 2024-2025. This growth reflects NFA's strong trajectory and increasing capacity to generate its revenue to finance its operations, as summarized in the table. Right Honourable Speaker, although we are looking at the performance in terms of non-tax revenue, some entities like the National Forest Authority contribution and benefits cannot be costed. Environmental benefits cannot be costed so much as they are bringing a lot of non-tax revenue. By the same time, for us, our main mandate from NFA is environmental benefits, and they should not be costed. Table number 2, non-tax revenue performance for the release of 2021 to 2024-2025. Honourable Speaker, you can look at that table, that in 2020-2021, the percentage contribution from NFA was 40. By 2024-2025, it is at 148%. So unless we are not rewarding well-performing institutions, for me, I'm very confident that they have performed to their best in terms of non-tax revenue performance. NFA has enhanced its NTR through investments in forest plantations, investments in ecotourism infrastructure, support and management of tree farmers, planters in central forest reserves, and the ability to extract external funding from development partners. This one has been depicted everywhere, that when institutions are swallowed up, the capacity to fundraise becomes zero. And we are worried we may lose all that NFA has been fundraising for this country. Therefore, this growth reflects NFA's strong trajectory and increasing capacity to generate revenue to finance its operations, and is therefore not a burden on the national treasury. So what is not a burden should be left to stay. NFA, my fourth dissent, NFA has enhanced investments in forest plantations. NFA has established over 14,000 hectares of plantations with mature commercial trees ready for harvest. This is expected to generate around 6 billion Uganda shillings in the medium to long term, boosting the institution's NTR. In addition, NFA supports and manages tree farmers, planters in central forest reserves. Over 51,000 tree farmers manage 200,000 hectares in central forest research, generating over Uganda shilling 6 billion annually in license fees. Right Honorable Speaker, the other area of dissent concerns deforestation and forest degradation. NFA has managed to keep at bay the numerous land grabbers who in several instances, Honorable Speaker, land grabbers constitute even some of the ministers and MPs here who are looking forward to seeing NFA go and they grab. Right Honorable Speaker.
There is an order. Who are the grabbers?
Thank you. Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, the honorable colleague has just mentioned that some of the land grabbers of these forests are actually honorable ministers and members of parliament in this head. You cannot start insinuating, pointing out members. If you have names, can you lay them?
Who are they?
Who are they? Can you lay them, since you have done your research, than pointing out fingers, please? Is she on order to do that without any evidence?
No. Let's give us the names with evidence. Yes.
Right Honorable Speaker.
You know, it is good to name and shame some of these people.
Yeah, naming and shaming is very important, Right Honorable Speaker, but not from here.
No.
Right Honorable Speaker.
If it is not from here, then you withdraw it.
Right Honorable Speaker, it is very difficult to withdraw such a statement because when they bring a list of members who have changed forest land to freehold land, names are going to be put here.
No.
Yes.
Christine.
And information granted, Right Honorable Speaker.
Members.
Information
yes,
is here.
Daudi.
Information on Gunda Forest is here.
Information.
Right Honorable Speaker, in the 10th Parliament, the National Forestry Authority advertised that those who are interested in planting trees should apply. And most of those who are given licenses were members of Parliament. At least in my constituency, I know there are some MPs, including Honorable Mbwatekamu, and other MPs who are given licenses. But if the minister wants to, the shadow minister says that they grabbed, that is not proper. But I know some ministers whose names at least have been mentioned on this floor to have grabbed some land like Otafire and others, but not for NFA. I submit.
Madam Speaker.
Yes.
Madam Speaker, for more information of this House. Madam Speaker, for information of this House, those of you who have been following the matter of Gunda Forest in Entebbe, we laid here on table big shots, and we laid on
Who
table.
are the big shots?
Can I be given some 2 minutes? I bring the document here as she finishes.
You first withdraw your big shots.
Oh,
when
I
you
withdraw
bring
big
it,
shots. Honorable members, to make it better, I can use a word that officials in government who had grabbed land of Gunda, and we laid on table the list with intervention of Parliament, that the land titles were cancelled with intervention of Parliament. But we can bring again the list here to.
If you don't have a list, don't talk about big shots.
Information.
Madam Speaker.
Information.
Madam Speaker, maybe for the record, honorable members should be told we are immune when we are here to provide information. So I don't know why you're fearing to speak any information as long as it's factual in this August House. It's within the mandate of Parliament and it's within our work as members of Parliament. That's why here, when you're here, you can say anything and nobody can challenge you in the courts of law. When you get out of this place here, that's when you can be challenged. So why don't you go on record and name the people whom you're saying have grabbed forest land? I thank you.
You name them.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Christine. Thank you very much, Christine. I'm talking. I'm on the floor. Thank you very much, Christine. And I think the minister was very clear that we have immunity here. Madam Speaker, on this floor of this respected parliament, one of the most respected chairpersons of the committee, Honorable Danny Kimosho, stood on this floor of parliament and said that Honorable Sechikubo is a land grabber. And it is not expunged from the records of parliament. He didn't specify
it is
which
not
kind of land.
he didn't say it was NFA land.
But he said it's a land, he's a land
He did
grabber.
not say NFA land. We are talking about NFA. We are talking about NFA. Yes, there is a procedure matter. Honorable members, don't make me get headache.
Madam Speaker, a while ago, the Secretary General of the non-registered political group headed by General Moses Kainerugaba accused one of the NRM historicals, General Severino Kaindo Tafire, of having been mentioned here as a land grabber, and he said he was not a NFA land, but he is accused of land grabbing. Madam Speaker, I know General Tafire has been speaking against Moses Kainerugaba grabbing power from his father. The procedure issue I am raising, Madam Speaker, is whether the Secretary General of that small political group, illegally established by a serving military general under the UPDF Act and the Constitution, should make such a statement and is allowed to stay on the record when he is accusing one of the historicals of the NRM, actually who should be his father, of land grabbing. Yet, General Tafire came here, gave a statement that he had bought this land from former Chief Justice Stephen Kavuma. So the procedure issue I am raising, Madam Speaker, is whether that statement should not be expunged.
Honorable members, he mentioned, first of all, I don't even know why you bring MK in this discussion. They are not related at all. If he wants to take power from his father, that is their business. And secondly, let Honorable Tafire come here and say that it is not true. Yes.
Right, Honorable Speaker.
And secondly, it is not related to the NFA issues.
Right, Honorable Speaker, thank you for the opportunity. When I come to this house, I come here as a representative of the people of Kasambia, not as a representative of General Moses Kainerugaba.
No, a smaller thing, a smaller.
Secondly, the Patriotic League of Uganda that Honorable Semuju is talking about is registered as a civic organization that is non-partisan, non-denominational, and non-sectarian. 3, maybe Honorable Semuju, who has been around for some time, has just started becoming active in this parliament. In the 10th parliament, if you remember, I wasn't here, but I was following. The Njeru land was mentioned on this floor, and the directive was given by then the Speaker, Right Honorable Rebecca Kadaga, for General Tafire to come here and explain on how he grabbed that land, not how he bought the land, but how he grabbed that land. And a directive in cabinet was given. The minister is here, whose land was grabbed, let him deny. Minister Wamirama is here and he was in cabinet complaining that the land that belongs to the Ministry of Agriculture was grabbed. Second, then he should explain whether the land is legally owned by the Honorable Tafire or by the Ministry of Agriculture. Then lastly, recently I was reading in newspapers, the same minister was mentioned to have had plans to grab land that was belonging to CID. So when I mentioned the name of somebody, I mentioned with the evidence. I beg to submit.
Right, Honorable Speaker, is Honorable Kaba.
Honorable members, I don't want to divert the debate. Can you finish with your presentation?
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, land grabbing in the gazetted forest areas is like this.
First of all, I want you to remove one of the members here,
Yes.
if you don't have them.
Right Honorable Speaker, I withdraw the members, but I promise that I would lay on table.
Yes,
the list
for
and
now, withdraw.
substantiate it. Yes. Right Honorable Speaker, I've withdrawn the statement that some land grabbers in the forest areas are here. Right Honorable Speaker and members, I wanted to briefly explain the type of land grabbing in gazetted forest areas. People are given licenses to manage forests on behalf of NFA. Some maintain the status quo, but others go ahead to change the leases to manage the forests into freehold land. And those are the land titles that are being cancelled. Right Honorable Speaker, right, NFA has managed to keep the numerous, at bay the numerous land grabbers who in several instances apply for court injunctions. And there are very many court cases concerning land grabbing of NFA land gazetted areas to enable them to take over forest reserves. About 120 illegal titles created in forest reserves were cancelled in 2019, and the process to cancel an additional 609 illegal titles. All these are grabbers. 609 illegal titles are still grabbers in central forest reserves. This is ongoing. There is a high risk that this process will be jeopardized by mainstreaming the authority to the ministry, and hence loss of government forest land and the resultant forest degradation. Right Honorable Speaker, I would like to end by reminding members that with the expected mining activities in Uganda, which is projected to produce 10 million tons of carbon every year, with the new European Union guidelines on deforestation, and with the mushrooming negative effects on climate change, it is an affirmative action, a good affirmative action, to retain National Forest Authority as a climate change management option, and we should guard it jealously. Otherwise, worldwide, we are not doing well. I submit, Right Honorable Speaker.
Thank you so much for your presentation. We'll have a limited debate on all this. Honorable Pair.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Pair, Honorable Dr. Lulu May, Honorable Kavanda, Honorable Yeska, and then Faith.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker, and thank you, the Honorable Minister, for submitting the report. Also like to join our colleagues in the minority by thanking NFA for a very good work that they did, but with very limited funding. We really applaud that. And I also want to echo that the issue of land grabbing is widespread, is not only NFA, and I don't think keeping NFA would actually keep the land. I would think that having NFA being under the ministry would actually help government to supervise and ensure that these lands are actually more safe than when an agency is struggling with it. Secondly, Right Honourable Speaker, I hear a lot of submissions on efficiency of agencies, and I've always wondered why we think that these efficiencies in agencies cannot go to the ministries and help improve what they think it's not working at the ministries. I would like to implore colleagues, members of parliament, that efficiency is a dream for all the citizens of Uganda in government. And if we are to provide services to our people, then we need to start advocating how all the investments we have made in the agencies can actually go to the ministries and help improve service delivery. Right Honourable, finally the issue of harmonization and savings. We are talking a lot about savings, but we are also cognizant that most of these agencies are actually paying very high salaries as opposed to the ministries. And that is one of the elements that maybe the ministries have not been able to perform. So in my opinion, merging these agencies will actually help government to harmonize the salaries so that every civil servant in this country will be working at the same level and also earning the same money at the same level. But if we want to isolate agencies, give them more money, pay them more in the name of providing services, then we are also doing a disservice as government. Finally, Right Honourable, I think we've talked about this many more times, that merging is about economies of scale. If agency is employing so much, is having their own procurement, they are determining their own salaries, they are paying their own staff. Government is saying let agencies come back under the ministries, which has been supervising them anyway. Why are we fearing going back to the ministries? It is the ministers who supervise all these agencies. Let them go back, be supervised, and let them only emphasize on standards, on quality, and on supervision, other than saying, oh, we can do it better when we are alone. I thank you very much, Right Honourable.
Thank you, thank you. Yes, Dr. Lume.
Thank you very much, Right Honourable Speaker. And I thank the committee for the majority report. I'm not party to the minority report because, Right Honourable Speaker, I travelled with the presenter of the minority report together with the 30 members of parliament of Uganda Caucus, my constituency, so that they could see the work which was done by NFA. NFA has been supervising the planting of eucalyptus and pine in all areas which were covered by natural forests in national forest reserves. And they have been the stewards for giving away all these forests. And once, Right Honourable Speaker, the President pronounced himself and gave a directive. Actually, it was an executive order. It was also presented here by the Prime Minister that licenses which were previously given by NFA to those people pretending to be caring for the forest but instead cutting them should be revoked. And it was mentioned here by the Prime Minister of Uganda. They disobeyed this executive